because the universal life flow is energy, pure, unadulterated energy, and it changes moment by moment by moment, shape, density. But I mean, so whatever somebody wrote down in a book a while ago may not be relevant to this context today. And as an intuitive reader, I rely on the universal life force to help facilitate the messaging that I was purposed to provide. For those of you who are new, that's some insight. I use 4 different decks of cards. I have the, and I don't know why I always have to look at the name, Angelarium, Oracle of Emanations, Manzo's Tarot 2, Miss Cleo's Tower Power Deck, for those of you who know who Miss Cleo is. Her tarot cards still work. And Shaman Mystical Shaman Oracle. Ooh, excuse me. Now, listen. This is a safe place because some of my messages they're not always a happy ending. And I'm not even going to try to pretend it is going to be a happy ending. I hope for the best. But sometimes the messages are what they are, and that's what the universal life force needs to give to somebody or something or to some situation so that critical thought can begin and maybe transformation can be thought about or initiated. So not every message I give is going to have a happy ending. I'm realizing that. If I'm using my intuition, powered by the universal life force, the message is what it is, and I cannot change it. And I will not change it to ensure that people leave my channel feeling happy and gleeful. Most often, many of us need to think about how we're going to be better people. You know, and my readings are pretty long. So the stuff I talk about may be happening currently, but to get to some place of rejuvenation and restoration is all a journey. And it's your journey. And it's based on however long your journey is supposed to take. Most journeys take your entire life until you journey into afterlife. And then that's a whole nother exploration for people who believe that way. Right? Either as being reincarnated, being a spirit walker on this earth, or in some other form or fashion. I believe we come back as branches on trees. That's because I love trees. I love them, and if you look at the branches when they're full bloom, it looks like a body bouncing in the wind with its arms out to the side. It's just freaky. Anyway, that's just my perspective. And like I said, I'm not going to diminish it anymore by calling myself names like a nerd. I am who I am and what I am, because that's what the universal life force wants me to be, am. I am. And I'm okay. And you know what? You're okay too. And I do a pre-shuffle of the cards prior to coming on to the channel. And during the pre-shuffle, I allow myself to be open to images and messages that may be on a different energy wavelength that the universal life force wants me to provide to you. Right? So on one level, we have the card messages, 4 different decks of cards to give a story, perhaps a continuous story. But then we have these pre-messages that may be part of the story or not. But these images come to me sometimes in the form of a picture. Sometimes I'm realizing it could come in the form of a half story. And sometimes it can come in the form of just words. Like dog, cat, mouse, up, down. And so I use these preliminary messages. I know you can't see them too well because of the glur. I sure write them down on index cards. But, you know, that's okay. I speak them out anyway. Let's just get started. Let's get started with the reading. Check it off. All right. Happy day. Happy Thursday. Yeah. First word we have up here, or phrase, is big mountain. Which seems a little oxymoronic because mountains are big. So it's like, does it make sense? Big mountain. Or maybe it's redundant. Something's mountainous. Something is big. And then underneath we have the word journey. And then to pass. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I live in a city, so there may be city noises. And I have 2 cats, so there may be cat noises. The redundancy of big mountain leads me to believe that this is a big endeavor. A big endeavor. To do it, or to be in the flow of it, is to almost be on a journey. And the journey is to pass the mountain. So it's not like you're journeying through the huge mountainous mountain to the 2nd degree. That's your journey. No, the idea is to pass. The mountain is a test, perhaps. The mountain is a decision, perhaps. But you gotta deal with that big thing. Because your goal is to pass it. Is to pass it by. So nobody's getting hung up on any mountain. There's no journey that's getting stuck in a big mountain. You're not going to get lost in a mountain. The idea is to deal with whatever that issue is, decision, test, whatever, and to pass. To pass can mean to successfully go through, perhaps. To pass. To pass something on to somebody else? So is it a journey to pass something on to somebody else? Underneath it says train track, going somewhere. So again, this journey idea, train track, going somewhere. Here it is to pass. To pass what? To go somewhere. So there will be this mountainous climb or this mountain to get over, to get on the journey, to move beyond that. The mountain is whatever it is. Like I said, a test, a decision, something, a move, get it, pass it on. But after that happens, it seems like things are going to pick up. A fast track is going to happen. And while you're passing into whatever, the momentum is going to pick up. Now, maybe you know where this somewhere is. Maybe you know what this mountain is you got to get over first. Test, decision, I don't know. But that's not the journey. The journey is to move beyond that and to pass on. To move beyond that. Because you're on your way to somewhere very quickly. Once you take care of that big mountain. And I don't know where that somewhere is. Maybe you know where you're going. Maybe you know what that big mountain is. And maybe you understand what this fast track is once you get beyond that issue with the mountain. Maybe you know what this track is and where it leads, because I don't know where it leads. It's going somewhere. And when I look at to pass, I think to pass what? To pass the train track? Forgive me if I look frozen. For those of you who are new, I freeze and I listen to the messages. So yeah, you're dealing with something to pass on, to get back on track so you can get to where you need to go. So you got to deal with something. And who knows what that is? You have to deal with something. To move on. The next set of messages is basket wicker. I saw this wicker basket, light in color, medium size. The weave was semi-thick. And it was being carried on the left arm, the logical arm. The arm of uncreativity was carrying a basket of creativity. So we go to these dichotomies again. Left arm logic with a right arm creative manifestation hanging on it. Is that either or is it both and? And what does the wicker basket stand for? It said basket wicker. I don't know what's in the basket. I don't know if it's heavy. But if it's on the left arm, it seems to be a both and situation. The logical brain and the creative brain meeting together. Two opposites. So train track going somewhere could be leading to two opposites. Opposing forces that have married. And it was being carried. So there's still movement in this story. Still movement to pass somewhere, carried on the left arm. Two opposites coming together. It's movement. And then the last thing I have down here is Negro spiritual. Afterlife, heaven, good when I die. Left this pain and suffering. I feel a sense of death, which is transformation. In the basket on the arm, in the Negro spiritual, life, death, two opposites meeting, life and death, movement into death. To release this pain and suffering. There's a thank you. And I pray over whoever this is at this moment in time. That I'm sorry this has happened to you. I'm not exactly sure why you're leaving this earth, but I'm sure you have family, friends, and people who love you dearly. And I just want to always reiterate that energy never dies, it just changes forms. And we are animated with energy. So yours will never die. The uniqueness of your spirit will never die because it will be within that energy wherever it is purposed to go by the universal life force. Somebody here is stepping out of life and they're stepping into death. We need to give a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Excuse me, I got the burps. So, this is a life. So, life, death, transformation. You have to deal with something to move on. So life is to deal with something. Death is to reckon with it. And transformation is to move on. Maybe this is that person's story. Maybe this is their hallucination that the universal life force was tapping into. Or maybe it was about them thinking about their life, their journey, the mountain they went through, how fast they went through life, what they had to do to move on. And now they're passing. To pass, go somewhere. Afterlife heaven, good when I die. Two opposites meet, life and death. This is a vibration of somebody who is dealing with something and going through this at this very moment. I know it. The universal life force is telling me. And the messages this individual is leaving us is that you have to deal with things to get on with life. Because if not, there's death of some sort and then a rebirth and transformation, hopefully, if that is what you can get to. But who is this message for? Because this person is leaving us at this moment, leaving life, the physical, corporeal life. Is this message for us? Maybe it's the wisdom. You have to deal with something to move on with life. Or there's death. And death always means transformation. Death, stagnation, stuck. are you talking to? Who are we talking about? Is this a general message to the people who are watching? Then who is our guide for this message? Who are you sending to guide us for this message if it's not about one person but about every person? To understand that death is not the end. It's transformative to the individual who dies and to those who are impacted by it. And we have just witnessed on paper the passing on of the energy vibration within the universal life force. Who is our guide? Who is going to tell us? Who is going to fill us in on these messages about moving on, passing, about life, death, transformation? Who is going to guide us through this? Who is going to point the way? Who is going to show us what to do? Yes, this is a very unique message because there's not a you. There's a we, there's a us, there's a everyone factor to this. And it's very exciting indeed. The universal life force is giving us all a message. And let's hear what it is. And we'll all hear it differently, but we'll hear it. Because everybody's situation is different, but we'll hear it. We'll hear it. We'll hear it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. All right, one more time. Come, well, as many times as it takes. Come on now. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Yes. All right. All right. Who do we have? Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, yo, man. This is a manifestation of the individual who passed away in the pre-readings. This is da'at, null, emptiness. Nothing. Nothing. So you're our guide? You're on this frequency? Still, I'm saying? What do you want to tell us? What is it that we should know? No, you're not the same when you transition. You're pure energy. So all those wonderful organs and brains and things are gone. What do you want us to know? Life, death, transformation. Life, death, transformation. Life, death, transformation. It's the transformative aspect to which you would like this message to focus on. Or is it the emptiness? Or the transformative nature of null and emptiness? If something is empty, it can be full. Something is null, it can be correct. If something is not physically dead, it can be reborn and transformed. Or biologically dead, physiologically dead. Life, death, transformation. It's the opposite of emptiness. It's the fulfillment of purpose. Transformation is the fulfillment of purpose. It makes you strong. It makes you wise. It makes you see and feel without needing the regular things that people need to see and feel. Transformation can take you to places that allow you to sense things that other people cannot sense, or sense them in ways that other people cannot sense them. Like the connection between matter and space and energy and time. No emptiness. Let's see what he or she or they or them or all got to say today. Because this is a trip. We sense an energy death on our paper. And then our guide is somebody or some being who is null and empty. That's a little freaky. Wouldn't you say so? Nope. Sounds about right to me. Sounds about right. Sounds about absolutely right. Oops. All right. Here we go. No emptiness. What is it? What is this message? Oh my gosh. I'm on pins and needles to figure out what this is. Universal life force. Please. Yes, thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right. All right. That Knight of Cups, always sitting around here thinking about shit. You got judgment. You got strength. You got the Knight of Swords, always creeping around. You got the Four of Swords, always. You got the Six of Swords. Yes, indeedy. You got the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, I didn't put it like that. And you got the Five of Swords. Now, can you see all this? Let me get it right so you can see. You can't see all the cards that way, so I got to move them this way. Or is it the other way? No, it's this way. Or I could adjust my camera. That would be the smart thing to do, wouldn't it? Woohoo! Yeah! So let's see. We felt a slippage, a transformation of energy in a universal life force as someone slipped away during this very reading and left up a message. You have to deal with something to move on, to go somewhere in life. Death, reckoning, or transformation. And then we pulled out the null emptiness card. Like if somebody believed that death was emptiness, this would be like the card that would come out, right? That will confirm on some level that's a universal life force talking. It's talking. It's talking to all of us tonight. And it's saying that we're going to need to be strong, clear-headed, the universal life force pretends the wheel of fortune is the wheel of fortune. It's a 10. It's infinite. It's full circle. Right side up. Yeah. When you think about the wheel of fortune upside down, it doesn't sound too hot. But the thing about it is, you got the wheel of fortune in the bottom, but you got infinity and completeness at the top. So while Da'at, our spiritual guide here tonight, is telling us things are going to get a little hairy, things are going to get a little hairy. I don't know whether that's in society, whether that's in personal life, whether that's in relationships, but things are going to get a little twisted, turvy, topsy-turvy, upside down, just a little bit. But the Wheel of Fortune, it's got some secrets in there. It's got a face straight up under that 110. It's like the Wheel of Fortune is bullshit. Like it's not even about the Wheel of Fortune. What is the frickin' Wheel of Fortune when you got the universal life force and one infinite zero completion, and you got it right over top of a face looking dead at you? Number, face. Triangle, face. Ho, ho. not luck. It's not fortune. I don't know if it's destiny. I don't know if it's fate. I don't know what it is, but it's not fortune. Or luck. There's no luck. There's no fortune. There's only the all-encompassing belief of something larger and something real that makes all of this worth anything. That is what Da'at is telling us. Because there's no being that will judge us. We judge ourselves. Hence the way he was thinking before this person passed on about dealing with stuff. Maybe he didn't finish it. Maybe he didn't merge the logic and the creative. Maybe that Negro spiritual was like, I didn't do shit I planned to do in life. So let me get the hell out of here. It's not about the wheel of fortune. It's about how you judge yourself. Judgment moves you or constrains you. If you judge yourself harshly, the chances of you moving someplace cleanly and efficiently are greatly reduced than if you judge yourself worthy. It's not about how something higher power thinks about us. It's about how we think about ourselves that puts us in heaven or hell. Literally and figuratively. Forever or over and over and over again. I don't believe in hell, but I don't know. You can be in living hell, and you could be a hell over and over again because you're insane, doing the same thing the same way, having the same results, just packaging it up differently. But emptiness has a draw. It has a draw. A draw of quiet, meditative energy. The Four Swords here. Connecting with the spiritual. If you see, it's all about the head. And emptiness is even sitting in like a yoga pose. Like the Four Swords is. So in essence, Da'at is telling us to get with ourselves. Get intimate with ourselves. Realize our strengths. Realize our strengths. And there's always going to be their opposite dualities. Love, peace, fight, war, up, down, hate, love. Those dualities will always be there. But the is telling us it's not about fortune, luck, or what some additional power thinks of us. That is important, but it's about how we think about ourselves. When we find time to get intimate with ourselves, to understand who we are, to build our strengths, to build our resources, to combat the dualities of life, if indeed it calls for a combative nature. Because it could call for diplomacy and love. You have to deal with something to move on. That's the judgment. To move on. That's life. That's strength. This is death, transformation. But this is the basket, the two opposites, the dualities in life. That no matter where we are, what we do, how we do it, there's always some righteous, some unrighteous, if that's how you want to call it. Even the Knight of Cups is thinking about this shit. His head is also an issue, so it's about what you're thinking. It's your mindset. All these things are about your head, your judgment of yourself. And that judgment will take you places that you don't really need to go, or it can take you places that you really need to go. And that's what Da'at, Na, emptiness is telling you. But let's get some clarity and message, because Da'at is just being very surreal, non-tangential, ephemeral. Like think about it before you do it. Do what? What is all this referring to? What is all this referring to? No judgment over self. There's no luck. It's all about how we think about ourselves. And at some point, there's a need to get with yourself in quiet time and meditative time to understand that life is about transformation. It's about going from one phase to the next. Da'at is telling us life is change. And that sometimes it's empty for a reason. Sometimes that emptiness gives you the opportunity to think about things. Sometimes that emptiness gives you a reason to fill it up with something else. Sometimes that emptiness is supposed to be like that, because you just ain't ready yet. Yeah? I think so. I think it's telling us many things. And I think it's all in your interpretation, how you're going to take it and roll with it. Because this energy was snuffed out this evening. And we're fortunate to be riding on the spirit of somebody who's riding the spirit of something onto transformation on a different realm, physical realm. And we need to get all information we can as quick as we can, because I've never had this happen before. And I don't know how long this energy is going to last. And I know I'm shuffling the hell out of these cards. That's because I want to know what's going on. Why are you telling us these things? Why are you telling us these things? Oh, shoot. Knight of Swords on the bottom. This is deep. I'm not frozen. You're not frozen. I'm listening. It's not about the big things in life. It's not about the grandiose. It's not about the show. It's not about the perks, the bonuses. It's not about the glitz and the glam. It's not about all that. It's not about the ego, which is a social construction that we live in our brains. It's not about any of that. It's not about gimme, gimme, gimme. I want. I need. It's about being content. You got the sun upside down. You got the Knight of Staffs. You got the you got the Fortune card again. And you got the Queen of Cups. Yeah. Yep. You will destroy yourself psychically by continuing to align yourself with the dualities of this life. Is it this? Is it that? It's a death sentence. Simple things. Knight of Cups just sitting there, catching his glory. Queen of Cups, sitting there. Simple things. Strength is found in the subtle, in the unglorious, in the foolish, in the ignorant, in people who don't even think that strength exists. But untether yourself. From ego associations. Oh, I have to do this because this is who I am. Oh, I gotta do that. Untether yourself from that. Ta'at is telling us look at the small things in life. Those are the things that matter. The little things. Like a bird walking down the sidewalk. Or a car backing into a parking spot. Or sitting at this desk doing these readings in this little teeny piece of desk that I have. Just the little things that bring the strength of heart of mind. This brings judgment and chaos. You have to deal with something to move on. And I think it's dealing with all these little itty bitty pieces of bullshit that keep you away from centering yourself and putting you where you need to be. It's causing death to certain things that are going on in your life. To certain death to ideas and things. Ideas can die. Yeah, once they die, they can transform. But into what? What if you forget about them? that ain't transforming. That's not transformational. Maybe you need to die to yourself before you can move on. Maybe you need to die to yourself before you can move on and begin to appreciate the little things in life. Look. Come on. Get on in there. Now I'm going to have to shuffle one more time for y'all. There we go. I love beating these cards up, banging them on the table. I love the way it sounds. Okay. 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 Mystical shaman. Timing the wind. Taming the wind. Jaguar. Now, somebody might look at these upside down cards and have the upside down reaction. Well, this is the opposite of that. To me, Da'at is communing with a universal life force, with all the elements. Even the animals. Don't ask me what the universal life force wants you to know about him communing with the animals and having just this intense universal force vibe. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's like Da'at. It's telling us that we have power that we don't even know we have. We have all the power we need through the mystical shaman, which is a 1-1-11-38. We have universal knowledge. We have power over... Stop it! Sorry. I was yelling at my cat. Oh my God. That was intense! He was scratching the rug. I'm sorry I screamed. Oh my God, you guys don't think I'm mean. Well, sometimes I am. But not very often. Over the elements. And you have power over mammals, over beings. The jaguar represents humanity. This being that passed this earth during this reading and gave us this information is telling us our issues rest in how we judge ourselves. It either brings us life or it either brings us death. But the one thing that'll help us to understand more about who we are is to gain intimacy with who we are. I don't think this being was at peace or at one with himself. So he's giving so this individual, this being is telling us that it is important to understand and know who you are. The power of what you are. That he sees now, or this being sees now, that he has passed on to the other side. That we have infinite wisdom that we don't even know we have. That we have control over the elements. Whatever that means. I'm not even sure. It just sounds fantastical. And that we can actually have energy force. Energy force